Next ones that we got. Oh, well, it ain't no party like a what?
Oh, shit.
Shit. And it's time. Because ain't no party like a Scorpio party, baby. Let's get some good cards, huh?
Let's see. I'm
ready.
I'm hoping for some good cards for the Scorpios this week. Scorpio. First card that you got here is the 5 of Swords in reversed. So I think that you don't need to try so hard. I don't think you need to push so hard. If something is that making you feel like you got to keep pushing for something, it's definitely not something, especially with Mercury retrograde now in your sign. It's like, relieve yourself from over trying to process this thing and how can you do more? How can you figure out more? It's quite the opposite. Maybe backing off might help figure things out. Maybe backing off, maybe taking a minor break too. Five of Swords is actually like not pursuing it so hard. But I'll say it, to be honest with you, like if you feel like you haven't been putting much effort in, then this is saying you're not putting enough effort in, you need to put more in. But I feel like for a lot of Scorpios, it's almost like putting a lot of effort in and it's not really giving so much. Sometimes women do it to get men, right? Like it's like you got to play the chase a little bit. Well, the challenge here is the 7 of Wands. It doesn't feel like either this other person or even you or maybe together are really all the way like we're going in all in to fight for this for the rest of our lives and hold this position together. 7 of Wands holds the position and will fight even its own family and say, no, trust me, you need to pay attention to this person. They're important in my life. But there's not that there. Nine of Wands upright. So, well, this one always gets me. It's like looking in the mirror and not really satisfied with what you're seeing and putting up kind of walls with not happy. So maybe there's some reflections that you have to do within yourself and be like, what is it in yourself that's not making you happy, Scorpio? Or are you doing that because, you know, maybe you're trying too hard, or maybe you're feeling like you're starting to put your walls up because you're not feeling like the fight's all there that you need. You need that grit. You need that determination. Maybe somebody's not as determined. This is a very undetermined card. It's like, hey, why don't you go guard the gate? But they really don't ever look like they want to go guard it. In this case, she's like, let's be honest, she doesn't look too happy. Or doesn't look too enthusiastic. And there's this addicting element. So it's kind of a, well, are you addicted to hopefully at reaching this is the challenge? So it's the process of trying so hard to get it somewhere, and there's a little bit of an addiction to that, to sway it. But what would happen if you actually got it? Would it be boring then? Well, the Nine of Pentacles in reversed. This is you not putting enough into yourself at all, trying too hard to get everybody's attention. That's what the Five of Swords does, and then everybody walks away. And Nine of Pentacles is not giving enough to yourself that you can attract and bring in everything that the universe has to offer. So I would definitely say that this is pulling back into yourself to bring in what you need, and seeing if this person, or seeing if you're single, seeing if people are going to come your way. This is definitely not about chasing. This is a chasing reading here. Chasing for it to be something. And I think you're over the addiction of that, or it's just not becoming, it's becoming like, oh God. And you pull the Hangman. Yeah, you feel stuck in, what are you really defending? Or I'll be honest, that Knight of Wands to me is just somebody who doesn't really want to be there. It's like, I'm a guard. Like if you go to the Royal, if you go to Buckingham Palace, those guards want to be there. Like maybe they could put on a good show, but at least they look like they're guarding it. I think that you feel trapped and you're trying to understand why they don't. It almost feels like this situation you're in right now. It's like, especially because that Seven of Wands, there's not a lot of wanting to fight for it, whether it's within you or it's within that other person. And I think that that's what you need. The overall that you got here is the spiritual cleansing. So yeah, I think that you need to take a little break and cleanse. See what happens. And there's something missing. That's why there's something missing. Void of course moons is like getting back to just like basic life for a minute, and just so we can process things and see and prepare for if it is going to go anywhere. You pulled the sun and Sag in the 9th house. This definitely is the biggest energy of looking into a whole nother direction and looking at other stories and understanding the story, but it's adventure. It's also opening up new doors. Is it adventurous? Is it positive? Is it extremely positive? This is like one of the most extreme positive aspects that could happen. Is the faith on the same level too? These are the same beliefs. And they can go in all directions, from faith of spirituality to politics to how relationships work to how people should communicate. So there's a lot about something's missing in the belief systems, and there's some spiritual cleansing that needs to go on, pulling back from some person or some energy here, because I think that there's a lot of being stuck in a pretty weird look into the mirror here that's not that satisfying.
I think maybe maybe they've had to like pull back an aspect of yourself, that's really important. That's what you're saying, kind of have to take a step back, and cleanse and really get back within our truth. We can't necessarily hide who we are. We can't put on a front. We are who we are, and we need to live that truthfully. And if that individual isn't going to fully embrace you for all your good and your bad, then what's the point of even continuing down that road? There isn't a point. So what do we do now? Do we retreat, or do we just find time for ourselves and find out who we actually are? Find back that love, that I was speaking of, that self-love, that self-appreciation, because this individual that you're going to be with needs to appreciate you fully and truthfully and honestly, and have that love and appreciate the love that you have for yourself.
Yeah, and with all the, look at the sun in the 9th Sag, it's almost like there's so much good luck by pulling out and cleansing a situation to open up a doorway that you didn't even know was there. Because with the addiction card, it's almost like you can't see when you're in an addiction until you're out of the addiction. And there's a spiritual cleanse and a void, of course, missing. There's something missing. So I hope those were good cards, Scorpio.